But anyway, yeah, I'm really excited. Today's group is gonna be really weird. I think mostly Zerg players, so it could be a short night.
Yeah, it will be eOnzErG, Babo, Taito, and Kenzie who is playing random. So actually, it should be quick group in theory, but it will be also very intense, but because like every link matters, every small step matters, so it will be also very intense day of BSL.
Yeah, so I was talking to eOnzErG earlier, and he was telling me that Kenzie isn't like strictly a random player, but he does race pick a lot, and I think he picks Protoss into Zerg. So I don't know if he's playing technically like random, just like the random bar. If he is, then that's crazy. But I think eOnzErG was under the impression that he would mostly play Protoss, so I don't know what to expect. But there are at least 3 players who only play Zerg, and every time you have ZVZs, I mean, it does matter how good you are, but you know, you lose that one Zergling and everything falls apart.
Yeah, exactly. This is a matchup until one mistake, and after one mistake, you can lose a whole game if you are doing everything correctly, because every small step matters in this matchup, and it's pretty weird choice to choose Protoss versus Zerg from Kenzie perspective. At least, like, it would be easier to choose Terran in theory, but if he feels comfortable with PvZ, that's very interesting choice, and it will be probably a little bit longer. It will be probably a little bit longer games than ZVZ, at least.
Yeah, I hope so. The thing about ZVZ is everybody's watched 9 pool versus 9 pool, and they kill each other with Zerglings, and the game ends in 3 minutes, and you're like, oh, okay, that's the game. But that's on one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is that one random game where you get late game ZVZ, and you've got Devourers, you've got Plague, you've got Queens, you've got all kinds of cool stuff. I love those. Those are so cool. But it's really hard to get there. Maybe we'll have one of those games tonight. I don't know.
Let's hope we will, because late game ZVZ is very interesting, and I'm personally a fan of Hydralisks plus Plagues in ZVZ, so I would like to see that. That's a beauty. Like, it's unbeatable in theory, but Mutalisks are so mobile that these days like it in 5 years it will be new meta, I'm telling you.
Okay, all right. Well, actually, the best late game Zerg player in the world was a Korean player named Zero. So as somebody else named Zero, you should be good at late game ZVZ too.
Oh, but I've made my nickname before I knew about Zero, so probably he chose a nickname after me. Like, I was
all right.
like, yeah. Okay. Like, he was. I'm sure he was following the Polish scene of amateurs these days.
I'm sure he was too. Good job, Zero.
Okay, can we describe the first players, because
I'm ready.
It will be Mr. eOnzErG and Babo, and maps will be Benzen, Roadkill, and Aztec as a 3 sets map. If it will come to that we will have best of 3 maps, it will be this order.
3 players ZVZ. That's gonna be weird, but yeah, I mean, Benzene should be a pretty solid map to start out on. The only other map that would have been kind of a good set one map would be like Blue Storm for our other 2-player map. But we get a little bit of everything. We've got a 2-player, a 3-player, and a 4-player map.
Exactly. And in ZVZ there are different play styles, because scouting with Overlord matters a lot. So in 2 players map you can read much more after scouting with your first Overlord. So that will be definitely a very interesting series.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm ready if you are.
Yeah, these are I will just show the profiles. These are the profiles of the players. We will have first match. It is Babo versus eOnzErG. It will be Chile versus Belgium. I think I don't need to introduce these players to you. They are playing StarCraft. Babo from 2010, Eon from 2008, Eon from 2007. So very experienced players, and they both love ZVZ, and they both love Mutalisks. So, oh no, Mr. Eon loves Mutalisks, but in ZVT. So it's a little bit different, Mikro.
Yeah, a little bit different. I also love that eOnzErG is like that sick old school hipster, because he put the QSEN DT35 as his favorite keyboard. I'm just like, okay, cool. We get it. You like to play with the pro player keyboards. But actually, it's really weird. When we went to the LAN in Moscow together, they actually had really nice keyboards at the LAN center, like really good, like $200 mechanical keyboards.
Oh.
And when eOnzErG's setting up, he unplugs the really nice mechanical keyboard and he plugs in his DT35, which is like 10 years old and made of rubber. I'm just like, okay, well, that's a downgrade in my book, but yeah, you got to use what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, exactly. He used to this keyboard, and it's. I mean, probably a lot of players would do that. Like they can bring their own keyboard because they know, like, there are sometimes different setups of the. I don't know the name in English, but like, for example, the enter is in a different spot. It's a little bit larger or smaller. The slash is a little bit in different spots. So it all can matter a lot. Okay, are you ready to start the game number 1?
I'm ready.
Okay, boys and girls, so game number 1, welcome everyone. This is BSL round of 16 and we are going direct to the game, Babo versus eOnzErG. So, spawning on the top right position as a red Zerg, we are having a Chilean player, Babo.
Okay, and his opponent in the bottom left-hand corner in the, what do you want to call that? It's like peach, light pink, something like that. That's eOnzErG.
Yeah, that's Mr. Eon, and I'm not very good in colors. I would call it like white with yellow. Okay, we can call it like peach is good, I think.
Okay, I might just say pink. That's an easier color to say. It's yeah, you're right. It's a weird color, but the big thing is that it's not yellow Zerg versus orange Zerg, because then, like, how do you tell which Zergling is whose? It's worse when it's Protoss, because Dragoons are already yellow and Archons have no color, so it's just like, well, okay. So I remember I had to cast an ASL game that had yellow Protoss versus orange Protoss. I'm like, okay, there's Archons, they're doing something, the Dragoons are shooting, but who knows? And it's similar in ZVZ. But these colors are different, so I think we're all pretty happy about that. Let's see what the builds are going to be. It looks like it is a 9 pool from Babo, and on the other side, we're getting an over pool out of eOnzErG. So theoretically, a little bit of a build order counter.
Yeah, in theory it should mean it should give Eon some advantage because he will have more drones, but there will be some possibilities of applying pressure from Babo. So let's see what he will be able to do with the links, because it's not always like links into speed, it can be links into fast layer, and then if Eon will go for the fast expansion, he will have definitely much faster Mutalisk. So these days I think like even the pro players are going for 9 pool and they can still win a game against 12 pool relatively often.
Yeah, glad you corrected me on the build there, because we're not seeing any like 12 hatchery or anything super crazy like that. I remember, I forget who the player was. I was at the ASL qualifiers, last ASL qualifiers. And I was watching. I think Artosis was there trying to qualify, and I'm walking around. I'm watching this random, like, he looked like he was still in high school. I'm watching him play. He's playing a ZVZ, and he goes like 3 hatch before pool.
Oh, in ZVZ?
And he wins. Yeah, in ZVZ. And I watched him. I'm like, well, I don't know if this guy's very good. And then he wins the game eventually. I don't think that should be technically possible, but at least initially, I was pretty surprised there. But glad we don't have that here. This is a much more standard kind of way to play it, and it's on a 2-player map. So I think you asked me yesterday, like, what's the big difference when you have mirror matchups on 2-player maps, and that is that you don't have to wonder where you have to send your units. So Babo is sending his all the way across the map. And an interesting little Korean tidbit is that Babo in Korean means stupid or idiot.
Oh, so, really? Oh, I didn't know about it.
Go.
I think he took his nickname from Chile language, but
yes.
but yeah. But there are players who call themselves, like, they can choose a name stupid for themselves. But I think this was pretty nice, pretty nice move from Babo, because he was moving the way that he didn't show his links to the Aeon Overlord. Just now Aeon knows what is going on. That's why he was forced to take 3 drones to defend it, and there was fast speed from Babo, so now it's like rush for time, and Aeon badly needs these 2 links from second hatchery, which will give him advantage.
I'm not sure why that. Oh, the drone was just barely able to get that colony up. Not really there to do anything but deny surface area and maybe make it a little bit easier to fight. These drones are actually dealing a lot of sick DPS, but there's not enough Zerglings here to defend. And even though the creep colony finishes, it's not really going to be super effective. There are a couple of Zerglings coming out, and the hatchery's around half HP. So this should be able to be held with the extra larva here in defender's advantage. But ooh, losing a couple of drones here, it's still going to be a little bit rough, and good timing on killing that Sunken right as it had about 1 HP. But there are more Zerglings popping out here, and so I guess eOnzErG will be able to stabilize eventually.
Yeah, eventually yes, but his tech is very delayed. He lost a lot of drones. He's having only 9 overall, and he is not having speed yet. So oh, Mr. Rapid just subscribed.
I did? What? Hello?
Oh, Mr. Agi
I
is...
think Agi gifted me and Avi subs.
Yeah,
so.
Thank you, Mr. Agi. This is a huge support. Mr. Agi, huge supporter, so everyone can use my 2 emotes, which is be like honestly only 1 emote, but but you can both use 01 and 0 shop.
Emote?
Yeah, it's the same
hilarious.
emote. Yeah, but we will have new emotes. I need to just have my haircut done, and we will make new emotes.
Okay, well, in truth, I need a haircut too. But yeah, this is great emote. Thank you very much for the subs and for supporting BSL and Zero's channel. Okay, well, we had eOnzErG barely hold on. His hatchery is down to about 400 HP. If he morphs the lair, I would have liked to see it be morphed to the natural expansion just to give it a little bit more health so Zerglings don't like snipe it later on. Because there's a lot of Zerglings on the way.
Yeah, definitely, and I don't know how Mr. Aeon did it, but he was able to make such a quick spire that he is almost not behind in Mutalisk, and he will be able to defend this free Mutalisk from Babo with his own spire. He is not forced to make spores, so that's really something, and now he's defending the Link battle, so it's a very good position out of him, not only because he's having Mutalisk on time, because also he will have larvas from second hatchery, which will give him huge advantage.
Well, one problem is that he built his spire, but didn't have enough supply to build mutas. So he had to wait and build an overlord instead of actually building mutas. So he recognized his muta timing was a little bit too late, and he's going to build only Scourge instead.
Oh, that's a really weird choice, I would call, but maybe he didn't have gas for Mutalisks, and now if Babo will micro that correctly, he will have very good position, but he's having only 3 Mutalisks, so this is such a hard job to micro against Scourges with 3 Mutalisks.
Yeah, 3 mutas are not really going to fight these Scourge off because there's a lot of them. I think that's, what, 6, 12 Scourge? Something like that.
Yeah.
And that's more than enough for 3 mutas. But, you know, it's up to 4 now. But we are starting to see a few of them start to connect. And behind this, there's already 2 Scourge from Babo waiting to kill the first muta that spawns from eOnzErG. So this could be a little bit difficult, but his Scourge connections are really good.
Yeah, they are really good, and this is very, very cost efficient for Aeon because one Scourge costs 25 minerals and 75 gas when Muta costs 100. Oh, he lost 1 Muta.
Yeah, Eon wasn't looking there and kind of got caught there, but he's gonna GG out because he doesn't have a natural expansion, and so I guess that's the reasoning behind that. I mean, I've definitely seen one hatch Zergs beat 2 hatch Zergs. It's really hard, especially if you lose your first few mutas. So I guess that's gonna be the mindset behind that.
Yeah, yeah, and it was. I think it was almost unwinnable game from Mr. Babo because like this second gas which Aeon was mining from, it would give him such a big advantage after losing this first like 4 Mutalisks with 1 hatchery. It would take forever for him to rebuild this army.
Yeah, it's basically over at that point. So I don't blame him for GGing out, but it was really impressive to see eOnzErG hold on to that natural expansion really, really well. It got down to just like a couple hundred HP, but he saved it in the end and was able to use that to give him the advantage he needed to win. So wow, that's a ZVZ. I don't think I've seen one quite like that before, but you should have seen games similar to that. It's like, well, one player is going to go for more of an economy, and the other one's going to play more aggressively and try to win the game that way.
Yeah, the important thing is that eOn wasn't too greedy with his build, and he was able to defend this link pressure, which was very scary for me. At least it looks like it was almost the game over especially after losing the Sunken, but he was able to hold on and then drone up a little bit, and he was stacking behind it very nicely. Yeah. So that was very impressive stuff.
Yeah, and his Scourge control was really good. A lot of times, if you're not a very good micro player and you're using Scourge against mutas, it can be really difficult because Scourge are really dumb. The AI on Scourge is terrible, so it's easy to abuse that with good mutalist control. But eOn's Scourge control was really good, killed off the mutas and was able to build a few of his own. So, well, that's gonna take us to game number 2 on Roadkill.
Yeah, exactly. 1-0 lead for Mr. eOn and Mr. Babo now. I think this is a map of choice of Mr. Babo, so 4 players map for him. I don't know what it... I mean, it gives you a little bit more possibilities to do something more tactical, because there is a less chance that your opponent will scout you. So maybe that's like his mindset, which is going after with this choice.
Yeah, I think this will be a little bit harder to play aggressively on. It's a 4-player map, so it's a little bit bigger. And eOnzErG, I think, is a player that might not want to play more aggressively because he thinks, hey, if the game is longer and I'm the better player, then I should be able to win that way. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. And if you are ready, we can go directly to the game number 2.
I'm ready.
Okay, Mr. Rapid, so we are going directly. Game number 2, Babo and eOnzErG. Winner goes to the winner's match. So this is a very important match for these players. Fame is on the stake.
I guess that's right. So cool, let's go ahead and get into game number 2. This is going to be a pretty important match, at least for Babo, because he does want to come out on top. So let's introduce our players. In the left-hand side of the map, 9 o'clock location in the brown is eOnzErG.
And on the bottom center of the map as a blue Zerg, this is our Chilean Zerg, Babo.
Which does mean baboon in Spanish, which should be a little bit more relevant than the Korean word.
Oh yeah, so. because you know Spanish, right? So what does baboon mean?
Well, I mean baboon's a baboon. So.
Oh, baboon. Okay, so I need to choose what baboon is, right?
Yeah, I guess so. So Babo is just the Spanish word for that. I'm guessing it's just like a haha funny thing, but I wouldn't necessarily choose to name myself that. I wouldn't want you to have to call me a baboon all during our cast. I guess you could if you wanted to, but that would probably not be very kind. But either way...
So I'm not doing that for sure.
Well, that's because you're too nice. So Babo is down a game. They did scout each other first, but Roadkill is kind of unique in the fact that no matter where you spawn, you have about the same rush distance by ground between bases. But they did spawn close by air, and that means that once mutas come out, it's going to be very aggressive.
Yeah, and they both will scout each other with the Overlord, so they both will know that this is 9 pull, and I'm interested what will be the reaction from these players, because when you're seeing that the second player is making 9 pull, I think you don't want to make too many links, you want to make quicker layer and more drones. So if we will see 6 links, I think they will hold on to that, but let's see what will be the choice, because like scouting 9 pull versus 9 pull, we will see very fast mutalisks and I think pretty good echo behind it.
That's right, same exact build from both players, 9 pull gas, and I want to see if they're going to be going into speed first or lair. Obviously, it's not a mystery because Overlords will scout that out. So let's see where this gas is going to go. He's going to wait for 100, and then we'll see what happens. And I think we're just going to see the fastest mutas you can possibly get, and a pretty standard ZVZ here.
Yeah, me too. I'm assuming that it will be fast layer from both players. And yeah, they are both going for the fast layer, because going for fast speed links would make no sense, because then your opponent can just make hold on links on the ramp and your speed is not helping at all. So that's a good call from both players, I think. But eOn is deciding to go with the mutas. Yeah.
But every once in a while, you'll wait for your opponent to commit to lair, and then you just can surprise them with speedlings. And if your arc at the top of the ramp isn't tight, then you can be in a lot of trouble. But you are correct. That's very unusual. So
Oh, but Babo is making a huge
look,
mistake. He's losing almost 2 links.
Yeah, and it's weird that you
links.
say that. He did lose the second Zergling there, because this is what decides a lot of ZVZs. It's, do you lose an extra Zergling? Because now there's nothing back home to defend. I mean, there's drones and they can help a little bit, but lost mining time in ZVZ is just such a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. Every second matters a lot, and Babo was a little bit too greedy. He was making too many drones, and now he will lose them because if he would have like 2 more links, it would be good for him. But now, oh, he's losing so much mining time. That's such a good move for Eon, and behind it, he's going for the Spire. So, oh, already GG from Babo.
He just GG'd out, and that's a ZVZ, guys. Surprise! It's you lose 2 Zerglings and you lose the game, because a lot of times 6 Zerglings is all you get until your next round hits, and if you lose that too badly, then it's just over.
Yeah, exactly, and this was a perfect example. 6 links versus 6 links, and then there is like, after the battle, it's 5 links against 0. because after a bad micro, bad things can happen. And this was very quick best of 3. I think it was the quickest best of 3 we had. It was like 11 minutes, both games.
Oh yeah, wow. Okay, well, it's gonna be a short night, so it looks like I may actually get some sleep tonight. But all that aside, we're gonna have a lot of ZVZs today. Kenzie is the wild card, playing random or race. I don't know what's going on there, but we'll find out what our next matchup is, I guess, when we get into it. So I'm excited to see how that goes, because it might be a little bit longer than this one.
Yeah, it might be, and in theory it should be a little bit longer, because this was, even for ZVZ, it was a fast games. And it was a fast GG from Babo in both games.
Yeah, I think he recognized, it's kind of over. And I don't blame him. ZVZs are really like that. They can just end very spontaneously.
Yeah, exactly.